Good day everyone, this is your Sir Balo, and for this video, we're going to talk about creating strong passwords and passphrases. So, but before that, no, let's wait. Lang, ah. I'll just show you the outline of topics for this video. So first, we're going to talk about weak passwords, and then what makes a strong password. And then next, we're going to talk about tips on how to make a strong password. And then next, we're going to talk about passphrases. And then the last one is tips for on how to make a strong passphrase. Okay, so let's start with the first. Let's talk about ano yung ano ba yung weak passwords, no? Bakit ba ano ba meron, no, sa isang weak password? Now, according here to Burnett and Lafayette College, so the following examples na we'll be mentioning, no, are various patterns, no. These are patterns that people use or utilize whenever they're creating weak passwords. So the first of this is the default passwords. So when we say default passwords, typically ito yung mga say password. Yung password is password itself. Default, admin, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or any password no, na binigay sa'yo upon giving your account. Let's say for example, if you have a LMS account na binigay sa'yo, ito yung username mo, and then meron kang password. So yun, when you say default password, from the word pala itself, default, ito yung password niya from initial password niya. Ito yung pinakaunang password niya nga. Of course, pag say default, kailangan mo yan palitan, no? Kasi pag hindi mo papalitan yung password mo sa default na password, most likely what if meron kang someone who knows the default password of the accounts. Kasi for example, sa BIPSO na LMS, no, all of you know, na nasa STCS were given as default password. Now if you're not going to change that default password, so if someone's going to attempt to open your account, no, hindi mo pa napalitan yung default password mo, so yeah, possible na ma-open niya, ma-access niya yung account mo. So yun. Next, we have dictionary words. So yung mga these are passwords, no, yung basis ng pattern ng password is basically just choose words from the dictionary, no? Could be for example here, chameleon, red socks, sandbags, bunny hops. So ito any words na galing sa dictionary, English dictionary, or even words na galing sa non-English dictionary, say Tagalog dictionary, Filipino dictionary. Let's say ano ba mga Tagalog words? This way, yeah. So yan, if you if yung password mo is based on dictionary words, so that's a big password. Then next, we have words with numbers appended. So when you say appended, ano lang, siningit mo lang ng numbers yung password mo, no? Typically usually dictionary words na dinalagyan ng number, usually sa first part or sa last part ng ng isang word, dictionary word. So for example, itong password, no, this is a dictionary word, so nilagyan lang ni user ng number 1 sa katapusan. So yun, meron na siyang password, but the problem is this is a weak password, no? Itong John, so although dito siya pasali sa dictionary word, but this is a common name common, or Juan, no? Common name yan. Tapos, ilagyan lang ng 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yun. That's a weak password. Next, we have dictionary words with some letters simply replaced by numbers and symbols. So, dictionary words. But this time, yung ibang letters, pinapalitan mo ng is either a symbol or number. For example, ito yung A sa password, pinalitan mo ng asterisk, address pala. Yung sa at no, sa ito yung character na ginagamit in emails. No? Tapos yung O sa password, pinalitan lang ng 0. So another example here, goldfish. So this is a dictionary word. However, yung ginawa lang niya is pinalitan lang niya yung O with 0, and then yung I, pinalitan lang ng 1. So yeah, if you ever tried using this simple pattern, no? So that's also a weak password. Yeah. Then we also have double words. So dictionary words na, but ano lang, dinoble lang niya yung word, no? So for example, here we have the dictionary word crab. So double word, kung double word na pattern yung ginamit mo or to a certain person, no, or user, so crab. So ito naman stop, so stop 3 or 3. Or if password yung ginamit mo na word and then dinoble mo lang password, so yun, kasali pa yan sa weak password. Then keyboard patterns. So these are patterns na nakabase sa keyboard mo. For example, itong QWERTY. So QWERTY is, you notice that in your keyboard, these are the first 5 letters sa keyboard mo, sa Q, no? Sa, diba, let's say for example, itong Q, yung letter niya to the right is W, tapos yung katabi naman ni W sa right na letter is E, yung letter na katabi ni E sa right is R, so on and so forth. So yeah, this is a pattern na makikita mo sa keyboard mo. Itong, tsaka itong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At tsaka yung A, S, D, F, G, H. At tsaka yung Quaz, 1, 2, 3, W, X. Itong Quaz, Q. Tapos yung A, ito yung character sa baba ng Q. Tsaka yung Z, ito yung character sa baba ng A. So, Quaz. If you without effort, madali mo lang makita tong Quaz sa pattern sa keyboard mo. Yeah. Tsaka yung WSX, makikita mo lang yan, no? Na pattern siya. So if you try to use pattern based on keyboard patterns, so yeah, that's also weak password. Character repetitions. So pumili ka lang ng letter, and then inulit-ulit mo lang as many times as you want. Let's say, for example, yung A na capital, inulit mo lang 5 times or pwedeng 8 times. Still, kahit 30 times mo pa yan i-repeat, that's still a weak password. Or let's say 1 yung pinili mo na character, and then you repeat it as many times as what? Could be 5, could be 6 or 8 or 20 times mo ni-repeat yung 1, so that's still considered a weak password. Then we have numeric sequences based on mga numbers. So although ito posibleng hindi to acceptable kasi yung ibang mga accounts or social media, let's say, mag-create ka ng password, usually yung minimum nila is 8 characters, so perhaps hindi to, but anyway, I'll explain na lang the reason why weak password to 911. So of course, aside from the fact na 3 characters lang siya, well known kasi itong number na to, no? For those who not familiar, 911 could be yung emergency dial number, no? Yung ginagamit mga number to call emergency sa Amerika. or pwedeng 9/11. So, 9/11, this is well known sa Amerika. Ito yung sa terrorist, ito yung date kung saan yung 9/11 incident where nagkaroon ng terrorism, nagpaano sila ng mga airplanes sa mga buildings, and of course it caused a lot of destruction and deaths. So yeah, kaya very to. But anyway, this is a well-known number sequence, no? So yeah, and aside from that, we have 314159. So if you look at it carefully, you can see the pattern. This is actually the numerical sequence for the pi, no? Kasi yung pi is equivalent to 3.14159. Same also with the e, kasi meron ding e na number sa mathematics, no? 27182. So yung e is actually equivalent to 2.7182, so on and so forth. Yeah. And then we also have here another pattern, no? Weak passwords na based on non-English languages. So for example, itong mahal kita. So this is the word, two words yung ginamit dito, mahal and then kita. So these are I can say this is a dictionary word, no? Sa Filipino lang na language. Also have contrasena, so is English, Spanish word. So these are weak passwords. Any words, no, that's existing to a certain language, whether it's English or Filipino or ano pa yan, or Japanese, weak yan, no? If you attempt to use one, no, password na galing sa isang language, no, sa dictionary, so that's is a weak password. Next, we have any information personally related to you. So if you attempt, no, to use a password based on your personal information, let's say for example, your license plate number, yung plate number sa kotse mo or sa motor, or even your driver's license, or your SS number, or your pag-ibig number, any number mo na pwedeng ang student ID number, yun, or your current or past telephone numbers or cell phone numbers. Ito personal information mo to kasi this is any personal information you can think of, no? Address, birthday, your favorite sports na team, let's say you're a fan of Lakers, or nickname mo, birthday mo, or your pangalan ng pet mo. So any information galing na related to you, no? If you use that as your password, so there's a chances that makuhulaan yung password mo to a certain individual. And then next we have username. Of course, hindi pwedeng kung yung username mo, yun din yung gagamitin mo as your password. Talagang madali lang ma-hack yung account mo. Ganun. Okay? And then last but not the least, we have well-known dates. So ito for example 0612181898. So hindi siya numerical sequence kasi dito siya number, but this is actually a date. Yung to be specific, ito yung date ng or yung petsa ng Philippine Independence Day, or yung kailan tayo nagkaroon ng independence sa country. And another example here is December 25. So this is a date. Yung December 25 is well-known date, which is Christmas. So even holidays, no, ano pa yung mga holidays natin? Rizal Day, Bonifacio Day. If you try to use that as password, so chances are mahuhulaan yan. Okay, that's a weak password. Now since these, perhaps you have encountered or have used one or two of these patterns that we have discussed here, so I guess that's the time that you should consider creating a strong password Kasi chances are mahuhulaan yan if someone can guess your password. So yung consequence is ma-hack yung account mo, and there be more, perhaps more consequences, no? After ma-hack yung account mo, no? For example, yung account mo is bank account yan. So yung chances are nakawan ka ng pera, or perhaps yung mga personal information mo mananakaw. So yeah, there are a lot of consequences once ma-hack yung account mo if you use a weak password. So that's why we must create a strong password. But of course, we have to know what is a strong password or what makes a strong password. Okay, so here are the guidelines in order to create a strong password. So first, it should have a minimum length of 8 or more characters. At least 8 characters. So pwedeng 9, pwedeng 10. Wag naman 7, 6, or 3. So actually, most social media or other websites, no, whenever you create or register ng account, usually 8 characters talaga yung minimum. Kasi the longer the better. Kasi why better, no? Kasi the more characters, syempre mas pinapahirapan mo yung hacker na mahulaan yung account mo. Okay? So again, the more characters, the better. Kasi the more characters, the more secure or the more strong your password. But kahit 8 or more characters pa yan, but if you used these weak patterns or passwords, so wala pa rin silbi. So that is why we have here the second criteria or guideline, no? Kailangan truly randomized, no? You're not using those weak patterns that were mentioned a while, no? It has to be truly randomized, no? Not based on dictionary words, not those that I mentioned a while ago. Kailangan randomized talaga. Anyway, I'll talk about later on how to anong example ng isang randomized password. So next, of course, should have small or lowercase paras lang yan. Capital or uppercase. So take note, if you encountered lowercase or uppercase, so ibig sabihin yan small letter or capital letter for uppercase. Okay? And number and symbol special characters. So kailangan lahat nito, okay, walang labis, walang kulang, dapat lahat nito is kasali sa password mo. So there should be, hindi pwedeng walang uppercase, hindi pwedeng walang symbol, hindi pwedeng walang number if you want a strong password, no? Kasi the more pag sinali mo to, mas mahihirapan talaga si hacker or someone who attempts to guess your password, no? Mas mahihirapan siya mag-guess yung password mo if you use this one, no? Especially if you added uppercase and symbols sa password mo. And then last, must be different from your other accounts. So eto medyo mahirap criteria kasi we are guilty, no? Probably, I'm sure some of us have tried at na we've used isang password lang yung ginamit natin for all accounts sa Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Gmail, or other accounts na meron ka, no? Sa tendency is we use isang password lang, no? Para madali lang kasi if you have many passwords, marami kang passwords na memorize, which could be difficult for you, no? Kasi baka the tendency is makalimutan mo yung ibang passwords. But anyway, there is a way naman to solve this one. So what you could do is you could use tinatawag na password manager. So there are applications that you can use, for password management. Yeah, you can use that para ma-manage mo yung mga different passwords mo for every account. So, yeah. So, why kailangan different yung password mo for each account? Kasi yung tendency, no, in case na isa sa mga account mo, yung isa sa mga password na account mo is malik or makuha, no, so yung tendency is ma-open niya yung ibang accounts mo, diba? So this is the risk if you're going to use same password for all accounts na meron ka. Okay, so here's an example of strong password. So yun, lahat ng criteria na ano niya, na satisfy niya, it should be more than at least 8 characters. Actually, more than 8 characters na to, no. It's truly randomized. It doesn't use any patterns that were mentioned a while. And of course, it uses has lowercase, small and capital letters. You have numbers and special symbols, parentheses, bracket, and then exclamation point. So yeah, this is an example of strong password. Now, I know it's hard, no. Now, if you're going to use this one as a strong password, the challenge of this one is how you're going to memorize this one. Kasi tendency is most likely forget mo talaga to. And of course, it's not advisable to write this one on a paper. Kasi tendency is, what if someone will makadiscover sa password mo sa papel, so ma-hack yun yung account mo. So anyway, we'll talk about later, no, how we're going to create a strong password, random and memorable. Okay, but for now, let's proceed with the next slide. So we have here tips for making strong password. So first tip, you could perhaps use an online, no, random password generator. So if let's say you're too lazy or nahihirapan ka mag-isip no, what's your random password, no? So you could use this online random password generators. You could just search this on the Google, the Norton password generator, and then the Avast. You just search na lang sa Google, yan. You can find it there. And then another tip, eto na, no? If you have trouble remembering random passwords, so another strategy is to create an acronym out of a sentence. So ito yung magandang a good strategy, no? Again, ulit ko, you're going to create an acronym galing sa isang sentence. And that sentence is something that you're familiar. Could be galing sa famous or popular na line sa movie, or quotes, saying, kasabihan, pwedeng verses, Bible verses, phrases, or even lyrics sa songs. So again, you think of a sentence na you're familiar with, and after that, using that sentence, we're going to create a acronym for that. Now, once you have come up with a sentence, ito na. You're going to take the first letter of each word. Okay? Each word, take note. Okay? And combine them with the remaining numbers and symbols, or with the other numbers and symbols. So we have here an example. So here's the sentence. A gallon of milk used to cost $32 back in 1950. So yung ginawa niya, after let's say, ito yung sentence, no? So the next step is to, sa mga words, no? So ito yung mga words: a gallon of milk used to cost, back, tapos in. So yung for each word, no, you take the first letter lang, first letter. So itong a, sa ganon G, sa O, yeah, so on and so forth. And then ito, pag if you've encountered kasi itong $32, wala man siyang letter, this is just numbers and symbols. So, isali mo sila lahat. Okay, hindi pwedeng, wag mong i-exclude yung 32 tsaka ito lang yung sasali mo. You have to include all. No? Basta pag number, isali mo lahat. Pag if you encountered a word, yung first letter lang. So, ganun. Okay? Same goes with here, 1950. So, these are all numbers. So, yeah, isali mo sila. So, once you've identified the characters that you're going to use as an acronym, no, to create your password, so you're going to combine them. So ito na, this is the final result. So this A is from the here, itong G dito, O, M, U, okay, so on and so forth. And then again, yung mga numbers and symbols, just salim lang sila lahat. Yeah, and this is the final password. So once you've tried to excuse me. So once you try to remember your password, so ano yung sequence ng password, you have to just remember or recall ano yung sentence na ginamit mo to create that password. So yeah, that's a nice strategy that you can use in creating passwords. So here's another one, topic. Ito importante din ito. We have here passphrase. So a passphrase is an alternative for a random password. No. Now the difference between a password and passphrase is yung passphrase is made up of randomly combined words. So yun. So think of it as dictionary words, but this time it has more than one word na ginamit mo. Anyway, later we'll talk about at least how many words yung pwede mo i-combine in order to create a passphrase. So yeah. So since yung password natin, or rather yung passphrase is made up of randomly combined words, so mas easier siya ma-memorize. Okay? And of course, harder or mas mahirap siyang mahulaan. Understand password. Kasi mas maraming characters yung passphrase compared to the password. So later I will show you why. Why mas mahaba yung password, yung passphrase kaysa sa password. But yun nga, since mahaba nga yung passphrase, so yun yung disadvantage niya. You're prone to mistyping your passphrase kasi due to its lengthiness, dahil sa kahaba niya, and of course pag ma-mistype mo yung passphrase mo, so mas mahirapan ka maka-access sa account mo. So that's the disadvantage lang. But again, at least mas madali siya ma-memorize, no? At mas mahirap siyang mahulaan. So yun yung advantage niya sa standard na password, random password. So ito yung example ng passphrase. So take note, password and passphrase, these are just the same. Again, ito, you could use this one whenever you're going to create a Facebook account. For example, create ka ng bagong Facebook account. So of course, you'll use an email. Instead of using a password, you could use this one, passphrase. Okay? So again, passphrase 5. We have here words. Yung ginamit niya is made up of words. In fact, 5 words yung ginamit dito. So we have stingray, cobalt, lying, stimulus, and liquid. Yeah. So yun, we have here tips for making strong passphrase. So in order to create a passphrase, at least 5 words yung gagamitin mo. Hindi 1, hindi 2, hindi 3 or 4. Dapat at least 5 words yung i-combine mo para mayroon ka ng passphrase. Okay? And they should be truly random. Okay? Hindi pwedeng sentence, ha. For example, a quick brown fox jumps to the lazy dog, or mga lyrics ng kanta. Hindi pwedeng gamitin yan as a passphrase. It has to be truly randomized. Random pick. No? And of course, may criteria din for selecting words for passphrase. So, MP, yung suggestion niya, kung pipili ka ng words, it has to be bizarre, parang weird, parang never encountered, yung bira lang marinig, and uncommon. No? Yun, hindi mo madalas ma-encounter or mabasa na word. So yan, ito yung mga kaninang words, stingray, cobalt, flying. These are words that you could rarely hear. You don't hear this one often, in conversations or in books. Basta uncommon, bizarre. And another tip for creating strong passwords, pwede rin, kung hindi words, pwede rin names. Names ng local business or names ng mga historical figures. Kasi Jose Rizal, wag si Jose Rizal kasi yan, common yan. Yung mga hindi common na mga hero or historical figures, sino ba yung hindi, search na lang sa history books nyo. Ano yung mga tao sa history na hindi popular, hindi sikat. Okay, so or pwede rin any words that you know in another language. So kung hindi rin kung ayaw mo ng English, pwede rin words sa Tagalog or sa Bisaya. Basta 5 words. Okay? And uncommon. Okay? So, for example, hindi pwedeng yung gugma or mahal kasi common yan. Common words yan. Okay? And another tip, if you're going to create passphrase, pwede mong dagdagan pa ng random character in the middle of your words or between the words to make it stronger. Mas mahirap hulaan. So, ito yung example kanina, but this time, lagyan lang ng additional dash for between the words. Or if you want something more complicated, so instead na isang character lang yung ginamit as to separate each word, so iba-iba. So ito, 1 yung ginamit dito. Ito, hashtag or ito, percent, and then asterisk. So yeah. Now, by the way, you could, example na to So pwede, if you're going to come up with words, hindi pwedeng stingray, cobalt, lying, stimulus, liquid lang gagamitin. You have to think of your own words. So, ano ba yung mga... Anyway, let's proceed with the next slide. Ito. If you have a difficulty in thinking, what would be your passphrase, you could use these online tools. Let's say, itong Diceware, there's a passphrase or secure password generator. You can use that. Search na lang sa Google, Diceware, there's a passphrase. Yun. 1 click away lang yan and can generate a passphrase for you. If you have difficulty in thinking passphrase. Kasi you have to think of 5 or more words para makakreate ka ng passphrase. Yeah. So yan, I guess that's all for this lesson on how to create and safeguard creating passwords and passphrases. So by the way, these are the references. If you want to read more or if you want to double check my sources for this presentation. So yeah, thank you for watching this video and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.